Welcome back, everyone. My name is Anne Rainton, and this is Who's That Image Consultant, where we are talking to image consultants and stylists from around the world to find out what their business is like, what their ups and downs are, where they've come from, where they're going. And today we have an international consultant, and that is Stephanie Rumble from Christchurch, New Zealand. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you very much, Anne. It's great to be here.
Let's start off by asking you, have you always been an image consultant and stylist? And if not, where did you start?
So the answer to that is no. I definitely have not always been an image consultant and stylist. I started out my journey, I went to university and studied clothing and textiles. I spent 5 years there. And my master's was actually in chemical protective clothing.
Wow.
So I left university and thought that I needed to address my student loan. So I went and worked as a health and safety consultant, and I did that for 15 years in different places around the world. And it was a great job. I loved it. I was working with people, and similar to this in some ways, people don't ever see the connection, but it is definitely, because you're helping people be healthy and well, and also, come back to work the way that they left home. So I started to feel, once I had children, that I needed a change. I felt like I was in love with someone but married to someone else, if that makes sense. So I decided that I just went into the yellow pages and opened them up and thought, how can I learn how to do someone's colours? And I went off to Tauranga and did a colours course, and I came home feeling a little dissatisfied with what I'd learned, but I'd learned something, and then I looked you guys up.
No.
I came to a conference in Australia that you'd run because I'd done this course, and I thought, these guys are amazing, best people in the world. I need to be trained properly by them. So I got trained by you, and then there we went from there.
Now, were you trained also as a stylist, or have you just been trained as, not just, but have you been just trained as an image consultant, or have you done both?
So I have done both. So I also did an online styling course through the Image Institute, I think it was, through Australia as well. And and that was good. But I really love fashion. So this styling kind of needed to be done for me as well, because I love fashion. And so because of that, that's why I ended up doing a bit of both. I probably do, on the balance of it, about 70 image consulting, 30 styling. Sometimes of the year that changes if I've got events and things coming up. And it ebbs and flows. Styling ebbs and flows. Image consulting is way more constant.
Right, okay. And how do you see the two of them marrying together? What are the strengths that one brings and the other doesn't, that it has made your business more fruitful?
I think because I love fashion, the fashion that I love, I share with my image consulting clients. So I tend to attract, at times, people who are interested in fashion, not necessarily people who just want help with the image. Not there's a just in there, but I tend to attract people who are fashiony as well, because they know that I'm going to give them advice on current trends, etc., which I know image consultants do. So I think that's helped. It also means that, I don't know, they kind of work together. So when I'm doing an event, I might style a person, but because I'm an image consultant, I know how to style a person to look fabulous without just making them look fashiony. And when I'm hiring models for a fashion show, I tell you, a redhead's definitely wearing the right colour, and so is someone dark-skinned. my models are always dressed in the right colours. And I can tell you that so many stylists I work with don't even think about that. So I feel it makes everything look more holistic, more put together, and more prepared.
That makes perfect sense to me. So being in Christchurch, that's an area that's been in the news over the last couple of years. I believe that you at one stage were working with a TV station doing a segment. Is that correct?
Yes. Okay, so I was working for CTV, which was Canterbury Television, and many of you will have heard of CTV, and I was on air with them once every fortnight doing a segment on styling. So basically I'd decide what I was going to do and run it past the editor and then presenter, then we'd get together and I'd do a segment. It was quite organic, just like an interview, talking about fashion, talking about styling, all sorts of different things.
Yes, so that brings me to the big event that the world knows about. Oh, and by the way, if you're from America, America and you're listening to us, then fortnight is a word that you're not familiar with. So fortnight means 2 weeks. So it's a very Australian and New Zealand type of word. So you're in Christchurch, you're working at the station, your business is going okay, and suddenly there's an earthquake. I cannot imagine a bigger challenge to any business than to have a catastrophic earthquake happen in your region. So can you tell us a little bit about what happened, and probably the most important thing is, how did your business recover from it? Because you have a really successful business and, you don't get much bigger challenges than that.
So I think the first thing was that my CTV family, some of them were in that building when the earthquake hit, so some of them didn't make it. So I have to be honest that the first thing I felt like was that the business I was running wasn't relevant in the face of such a catastrophe. It felt like it wasn't the right place to be at the time of the earthquake. I felt like I should be a nurse, or I should have been or something like that. It didn't feel right. So I actually took my family away, and we went away for a couple of weeks. I've got 4 children. At the time they were really quite young, and we went away to Whangarei. We all regrouped. We had a big think about where we wanted to go, and then I came back, and I started to use the mantra, do something small for yourself. Do something small for yourself. So doing something small for yourself means that you can actually feel a wee bit better about yourself in the face of a terrible catastrophe. I also went and worked for a fashion retailer part-time. Again, because, obviously people were thinking more about where they're going to live and how they're going to survive without, wanting to think about buying clothes. So I worked with her for a while. She was amazing. Lynn Woods is her name. She has a store here. And so I worked with her, which was great, for about 3 months. And then my business just started to pick up again. People wanted to fundraise, and I've done a lot of work in the fundraising arena. Yes. Running big fashion events, and I was really happy to donate my time, to rebuild things. And so I had a lot of that work that came through after the earthquakes, fundraising, working with schools. I started to develop my Style in Schools product, and that was quite a good pick-me-up at the time, when a lot of school-age children or school-age young adults were suffering from post-traumatic stress. So talking about image and positive, interesting things that they could encounter when they left school, made a difference.
Right. I can imagine that it's at these times of stress and recovery from stress of this sort of event that it's a little bit like post-war, I guess, that we will often, as women at least, look to do things like makeup and clothes to help us feel better and recover. Is that what you were experiencing?
Yeah, totally. And I really wanted people to give themselves permission to get out of their gumboots and their whatever they were wearing to lift up liquefaction and all of those things, and actually, be the people they really were again. And I think I just chipped away. Westfield at the time, who I also worked for, started to run fashion events, and they really, at the time, they were one of the only places in Christchurch that had survived the earthquakes, and I was super fortunate to be contracted to them. And our fashion collective at the time was huge, and so that probably saved me as well. They jumped on board with the fact there was no other fashion hardly in Christchurch, and together we kind of built some more awareness around fashion styling and around image consulting.
Right, because I was going to ask you about your work with Westfield. So you're a stylist for them. You're on their salaried staff?
No, so I'm contracted to Westfield. I always have been a contractor. But I am the Christchurch fashion stylist. So at the moment, I'm doing a mix of fashion styling and image consulting. So I go in now once every couple of weeks and style the mannequins, put together displays on particular themes. And then this weekend coming, we're having an event called Taste Shop Play. And so I'm involved in the shop part of it, and I'm doing some workshops on colours, which is great. And I'm doing some in-store styling at some of the retailers that have requested me to go in store and do that. So that means people come in store, want to buy clothes, and I help give them advice on what might look nice on them, etc. Oh. So yeah, so Westfield is definitely still one of my main contracted clients. The fashion collective was huge after the earthquakes, and it reached a peak, and then obviously it's dipped, and we're just coming back again because Westfield's owned by Centre Group out of Australia, so there's been some change in direction in the last year, really.
Okay. So when you're working as a stylist for Westfield, let's say you've been employed to shop with someone, is there a lot of pressure to buy a lot of stuff for them or have them buy a lot of stuff?
And I'm very about ethics, right? So I have this deal, and I was saying this to someone today because I was in there this morning. I won't shop with anybody until I've met with them first. And really, I'm quite strict about, I really have to have done someone's colours, because I don't want to get into an argument with somebody in a store. I mean, I want them to feel great about who they are. I want them to understand who they are. And I want them to then, when we go shopping, obviously they can purchase things that are great for them. So do I have pressure around them buying things? No, Westfield's amazing like that. They understand that the clients come in at different price points. We probably don't get the huge high-end price point client coming through Westfield. So they know that some people might only have $100 or $200 to spend, and they might want to spend half their consultation doing colours with me, and then the other half will go shopping.
Oh, that's really interesting. If that's the way they think, that's fantastic. Now, something else I've noticed about your business that I absolutely love is you do these little videos where you walk in and you explain about an outfit and how your outfit works and all that sort of thing. Tell me, when did you start doing those, and what result have you had from them?
I video blogged for a whole year I'd say it's about 6 or 7 years ago. I have to check back in Facebook, because I wanted to grow my Facebook following, and it was at the time when it was time to grow a Facebook following. So I every single day video blogged, and I had lots of willing children willing to take my videos at the time. At the moment, nowadays, they're not as willing because they're all 10. And so I went from having 300 followers on Facebook to having 13,000 followers on Facebook. I know, and it was insane. And I found that year when I was video blogging, like, I'd put a video blog up, and I remember doing this once, and I was driving to a speaking engagement. I put the video blog up, I drove to the speaking engagement, and I got there, and it took me 40 minutes to drive there, and I had 300 views by the time I'd driven there.
Wow, so, everybody's dream.
I know. So then it was, at that time it was huge. I do intermittently video blog now. I try to mix it up. It depends a bit on what's happening in my life and what I'm trying to promote as well. So at the moment, styling is quite big again for me, and image consulting, because it's seasonal. And it's still really hot in New Zealand, but all the winter clothes are coming in. So just about to start doing some more video blogs, actually.
I look forward to those. In fact, we'll put a link to your Facebook page below so people can have a look at it. And do you feel that those video blogs have really brought you work, or have they been good for the brand, or both?
Probably both. I think one of the things I've learned a lot in my business is that you've got to have lots of exposure to get a client. Like, a client needs to see, they say the rule of marketing is you've got to see something 9 times. And I really believe that. So people need to see you in many different genres. So maybe they see you public speaking, they might see you out, they might be introduced to you by a friend, they see you on Facebook. So all of those things together all then go, okay, I've made the decision, I want to go and see that person. So I don't do a blog and expect to get 20 phone calls. I think in the early days I did. I'll be like, right, I've done the video, I'm waiting by the phone, and now I'm like, okay, Steph, that's cool, I've done the. So for me, it's about contributing to others. Some people will never want to see me, but they might get something out of me vlogging, and if they do, then that's awesome. I just want them to feel great about who they are.
That's fabulous, and it sort of reminds me of the Pantone ad. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. Is that Pantone? Anyway, it's that sort of saying. You've got to just keep at it, and I think that's where some image consultants and stylists sometimes fall down, because you start all enthusiastic and you don't get the response back that you want, so you stop doing it, whereas you really got to be in it for the long haul. Which brings me to the point that in order to keep doing it, you must really have to schedule it out, think ahead what you're going to talk about, plan it out. And do you do a whole lot in one day and then release them slowly?
I don't like doing that, because okay. I don't want to have to change my outfit lots of times in one day.
Right.
And I don't like seeing a video blog with someone's wearing the same clothes. If they're a stylist, I think that's for me, that doesn't work. I like to have a different outfit on, a different look, and different makeup and different earrings. So yeah, and I do. And often I'll look at my outfit of the day, and I'll get up in the morning and think, okay, today I'm wearing a pants and top matching combination that looks a little bit like a pantsuit. So that would be a good talking point, how to wear something that looks like a pantsuit. So often I take inspiration from what I'm wearing, how to make an outfit connect. I could do that too, because I've got rose gold earrings on, rose gold shoes, and a rose gold watch. They connect together, which makes the outfit work. There's a bit of peach in my outfit. So often I'll look at what I'm wearing, or make a plan about what I'm going to wear for that day, and then I'll think, right, I'm going to blog about that. I tend to be better on the fly than being overly prepared. If I'm overly prepared, I tend to stumble and fumble and try and, what am I supposed to say? So that's just how I roll, because I've been public speaking forever. So it's just and I think doing all the TV work, you have to learn to speak a little bit on the fly too.
I guess that's right too. That's fabulous. That gives me a new insight into watching you do those video blogs. All right, last question, and that is, I know that you love fitness. I see you doing all the marathons and things like that. What part does that play, that passion of fitness, play in your business? Or does it play any part?
For many years, and it played no part whatsoever. I've been a fitness instructor for 27 years. I started when I was in my late teens, and I've just done that as part of, it's just been part of who I am. Like some people play bridge or whatever, I've been a fitness instructor. But in the last sort of 12 to 18 months, I've started to become touched by what my clients share with me. So my clients, and you all of you as image consultants will relate to this, share a lot of personal information, and a lot of the personal information they were sharing was around how they feel about their bodies, generally because they were carrying a little extra weight. So organically, around sort of 12 months ago, I started to develop an accountability coaching arm to my business, which is really where people, I work with women, men and teens to help bring them to a healthy place in their life. So my deal is about health and feeling good about who you are. Like, I've had a battle with my weight over the years. I've battled with self-image, as I'm sure many people can relate to. It's funny, we're image consultants who battle with self-image.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and so I just wanted, and I really feel in the last 5 years I've overcome that, and I've developed strategies myself to help really overcome that. And I wanted to share those strategies with others, and I'm having quite a lot of success. So clients who've been image consulting clients for many years are now becoming accountability coaching clients, and they're going from a size 18 to a size 8, or from a size whatever they want to be. Like, it's all about health as well. So if someone's comfortable, I was just talking to a client this morning, and she's lost 17 kgs, and we were talking about her being a particular weight, and she said, look, I'm 2 kgs over. And I said, do you feel good? She said, yes. And I said, you look great. I said, let's just leave it how it is. You're healthy and well and fit, and let's leave it. That's good. You're there. So that's part of, I feel I can help share my knowledge and experience, because I'm trained in the fitness industry, and also I have nutrition training as well. So it all comes together. Then at the end, we go shopping for new clothes.
And just I'm sure some people will be thinking of this. If you have a plus size client who comes to you, just because you have a love of fitness, does that mean that you're going to encourage every overweight client to become thin, or how are you going to manage that? Do you see a plus size client and just in your head go, okay, in order for this girl to look good, I have to make her lose weight? Or do you, no, great.
I can help anyone to look the best they can look. And I was doing that for years and years and years, but underneath it all, sometimes, not everybody, some clients just didn't feel good about who they were. Yeah. So no, I don't go there. If they're happy with who they are, but inevitably, sometimes they let me know that they're not happy, and then the conversation unfolds. So yes, look, I had a client 2 weeks ago. She was a really tall lady, and she was a size 16, 18, I think, and she was really happy with who she was, and she looked great, and I was fine with dressing her, and it was all perfect. The conversation didn't arise at all because it wasn't relevant. It didn't need to, but you can tell as an image consultant. You can tell when someone doesn't like themselves because of the way they hold their head, because of the way their shoulders are, how they interact with you. And sometimes they're just looking for someone to help them. Like I'm that friend that says, how are you doing today? have you done some exercise? What exercise have you done? You know, we just work it through. So yeah, I'm the accountability. I'm the friend that sits on your shoulder and gets you there if that's what you want. So no, definitely not. I don't ask people and broach it with them if it's not relevant. Yeah.
You know, you have such an impressive business. It's such a well-rounded business, and just from just the whole story of, you know, the challenges and where you've come from, and just the place your business in. I think you're a real inspiration. It's just wonderful. So thank you so much for giving us your time today. It's been a wonderful story. I'm sure it's going to encourage a lot of people. So, you know, from me and the audience, a really big thank you, Stephanie.
No worries, and thank you for listening, and don't give up. That's all I can say. Don't give up. If it feels too tough, if it feels difficult, just pick yourself up and take one step forward. You know, the big picture will unfold if you stick at it.
That's really great advice. Well, thank you. Well, we're finished for another interview. I hope you enjoyed Stephanie's story. I know I did, and we will be back next week with another interview. So from Stephanie and I, see you next time.